It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This article was uploaded from RT.com, as you see up here. India's new foreign trade policy aims to smash dollar's hegemony. And that's pretty much what's going on nowadays. Countries fighting to basically get away from the dollar. Now again, I believe that this is systematically being done on purpose, because ultimately we know that the dollar, the US dollar, is the world's leading hegemony, which when you look up the word hegemony means leading role, leadership, ruling, leadingship, you name it. So this dollar is the leading reserve currency, and basically, there's many of these countries that's fighting to get away from the dollar. Now, I believe the so-called elites are behind this device because, by basically smashing the dollar, it would have an effect on the currencies of these other nations, which could lead to a financial meltdown, financial crisis, economic crisis, and ultimately it can lead to the issuing in of the microchip, which is the MOTB. Okay, so we know that they've been pushing hard toward their NWO agenda. And a part of their NWO agenda is to get everybody CHIPPED. So right here we see what? We see the Chinese yuan may be the perfect foil for the rupee to usher in a new multipolar order for global trade. We're going to scroll down here and see what's going on here. See, So India's new foreign trade policy, which took effect on April the 1st, which will be 15 days ago, seeks to pivot away from I guess you could say 14 days ago, seeks to pivot away from the US dollar hegemony and promote the country's own national currency, the rupee, in a bid to boost exports, conserve its foreign exchange and reserves. And by these countries getting away from the dollar, this is going to have a huge effect on the dollar, because it's basically going to reduce the dollar's buying power, which will in return cause prices to go up here in America. Okay, so in 2022, India's exports were 453.3 billion, a 14.6% uptick year on year, despite a slowdown in global trade. India became the fifth largest economy in the world last September at 3.18 trillion, even though the Crown Royal 19 pandemic slowed its march towards $5 trillion by another 2 years. Amid a robust economic growth outlook, India is poised to trade in rupees with countries that are facing an acute shortage of dollars, according to the country's Cabinet Secretary Sunil Barthwal. Santosh Kumar Sarangi, head of the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, has spelled out a national goal of $2 trillion in exports of merchandise and services by 2023. Additionally, India will launch a new amnesty scheme for one-time settlement of defaults on export obligations. Sarangi said the scheme, which will remain operational till September, aims for quicker resolution of trade disputes. So what I'm going to do is let's come over here to Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 1. Is it 1 verse? Well, we'll start at 17. Okay. Zephaniah 1:17, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. And ultimately, when this financial meltdown goes down, it's going to cause distress upon people. People are going to riot. They're going to protest. They're going to take to the streets. There's going to be questions. There's going to be confusions. There's going to be violence. The crime rate is going to go up. And hell, it's going to be the start of civil unrest. Because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, which is shit. Verse 18. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. Right, and the reason why, which your silver and your gold, which is because nobody is buying in silver or gold, okay? You're buying in dollars, petrodollars, which is really backed by nothing. So your silver and gold would really be a metaphor for your dollars. Your dollars, all this money you got saved up in the bank, you're not going to be able to use this money to deliver yourself, in the day of the Lord's wrath. Because when inflation and devaluation starts to hit this dollar at its peak, people's going to feel the prices of food, okay? When you buy 7 food items from a grocery store and it's damn near $50, then you're going to really start to feel that pressure, okay? Because it's already happening. Okay, if I go to Tops, there's 3 items I can buy. If I buy 3 of these pack of beef sausages, right, from Tops, the cost for all 3 of those beef sausages is going to be $60. So this devaluation and this inflation is really starting to hit this country. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Okay. Then we come over here to Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 19. We get this, right? Because in the movie I Am Legend, which, it's in these movies that the so-called elites, they like to tell people what they intend on doing before they do it. So in that movie I Am Legend, which came out, I believe, a decade ago, or more than a decade ago, in that movie, they showed they showed people throwing their dollars in the streets. Because the money was so worthless, people was literally throwing their dollars in the streets. You know, there was just dollars everywhere. As he was walking through the streets, he looked on the ground and he just saw dollars everywhere. And that was a sign in that movie that the dollar had lost so much of its value that people had no use for it anymore. So they just tossed it aside. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold, which your gold and your silver, is a metaphor for your dollars. So you're going to cast your dollars in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. The silver and the gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And we read this, we reread something much similar in Zephaniah 1 verse 18. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquities. And when this dollar crashes, it's going to lead to people raiding grocery stores, which can generally carry up to 3 days worth of food. Once all that food is gone, then what? Like it tells you in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, the people is going to be raiding other people's houses with the sword, which the modern day sword is the gun. And basically, people's going to be shooting and killing the house owner just to get their food. So that's what's going to be going on in these last days. A lot of treachery, a lot of betrayal. People that people thought were their friends is going to turn on them, and it's just going to be complete anarchy out here and civil unrest. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Is on to the next one.